looks like it's up on Twitch. And it looks like we're up on YouTube as well. So, hello everyone. I'm gonna wait a bit, of course, for people to file in and stuff. However, it is good to see, or I guess it will be good to see people in the VOD again. I know it's, super late and stuff, but at the same time, I want to stream more. I'm gonna reset. Nope, okay. Was worried I was gonna have to reset the Twitch, or not Twitch, the Limbus stuff. So I got 18 days on this event, so we're gonna keep. I'm very curious, but oh, that was the thing they added. Okay. Understood. Hi Bianca, it's good to see you again. Yeah, so they added new content recently, which is the refracted slash, and then like the reverse of it. But yeah, I've got to complete the event first and stuff. So, we'll get on with that. Hope you are doing well, Bianca. I know it is extremely late for a stream, but at the same time, I don't care. I need to get this event done. And also, I just want to stream more, so I might as well combine the two. To present the conclusion first, no, the notion of the sword being a sentient one is incorrect. The locus of the will is not the blade, but the scabbard. An ego forged in a rather paradoxical nature. Yes, that would be the most appropriate description. Thanks, Hohenheim. Wolfgirl stream, hello, Matt. Yeah, yippee. I'm just imagining the little yippee gif playing now. Not a sentient sword, huh? Ryoshi's grumpy dismissal made the scabbard quiver almost as if it had taken offense. Aw, poor Raya. Taking strays from her own mother. Somehow I felt like I could understand what Hohenheim meant by will now. It was a reunion of sorts, one that gave both a tinge of sadness and hope. And also lots of cope. If the scabbard has its own will, does that mean the owner of that will can be resurrected? Okay, I need to figure out something for Twitch. Because sorry, gonna be yawning a bit, but I noticed that the Twitch chat is mean and dumb and always comes from the top, while YouTube chat comes from the bottom and then goes up, so it'll appear so much better whenever it's streaming, whereas Twitch is like, there will be messages, but you'll just never get to see them. But at the same time, if I move the thing to the top, then all the other messages are going to be buried eventually. So it's just kind of, not just stuck in like a catch-22. Really, really cute yawn. It is too premature to deliberate on the matter. The state of existence under question is not one that may be defined as death at the moment. Actually, can I be heard? Actually, what am I asking that now? Of course I can be heard. After all, Matt responded to me. I assume they asked whether it can be revived or brought back to life, so to speak. Even supposing that survival is a fixed variable and that the reconstitution of the original corporeal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility, the probability approaches zero given the limits of today's technology and conditions. The DS was a highlight of my childhood. The DS is so good, although I only have the DS Lite and not the big, like, chunky DS, but, like, it's still pretty good. It's just a shame that my DS is, like, kind of dying as well. Like, there are times where it, like, actually there was one time recently where it had, like, a full system reset on its own. So, I feel like I just can't touch it anymore. which is sad because, like, I really love the DS. I don't have to keep resetting it. We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal chances, but in the terminology of lay people like yourself, such a prospect would be labeled impossible, wouldn't it? There is no need to fixate on the impossibilities of the present, Manager Dante. Such matters are reserved for us scientists to hold on to. Right. But we may have uncovered a thread, something that could lead to restoring Ryoshi's memories. Though again, that too is merely a possibility. A far more practical avenue for you to pursue at the moment, nevertheless. And to that end, seeing you glide across the screen is interesting. I'm still surprised you haven't played. So, there's a funny thing where I think I have played Animal Crossing, but it was like a friend's copy of it. I was basically just playing on their system, and I understood nothing. So, yeah, I'm just never playing Animal Crossing, even if it does, look kind of cute. I will just play vicariously through my friend. And to that end, yes, further analysis on the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. He should still be in the ring nurse father's quarters. That will be all. Bye, Hohenheim. Anyone want to tag along? Munching on food, averting their gaze, the sinners were pretending they weren't interested at all. But going by the way their forks had long since stopped moving, it was pretty clear to me that they'd been intently listening in on the conversation. Time to switch all their communications to PictoChat. Oh, PictoChat would be so much fun, and there's too many mollies. Alan. He's not as cool like Alan Party. No one's gonna know what I'm talking about when I say him. Alright, sorry. Forgot the rest of you weren't with us earlier. Faust, Don Quixote, Ryoshi, and I have been checking where each back door leads. Oh, yeah, no. We also have our support, Kira. The prisoner of war executive manager? We talking about me? Yeah, I guess I'm working with them too, yeah. Best remember to tread carefully. Should you cause even the slightest harm to the executive manager, you will be held accountable without exception. I really am so tired of your brown-nosing, Otis. I do not care. It will be explained when we get to your canto, but I am not gonna care. I do not like it. Thank you, Kira. Kira needled at Otis with a mocking pout, but oddly enough, she didn't appear particularly irritated. Anyway, I think it'd be better if we had a few more people just to be safe. One of the doors we went into earlier led straight to the rings corridor. That was a close call. Otis, of course. I would very much like to accompany you, Executive Manager. I knew I could rely on you, Otis. Kira's nameplate is Joker colors. Who in the right mind decided the entire Dark Tower series would fit into only one movie? Someone who was an idiot. Also, that's just movie making for you. They'll do some of the dumbest decisions just to fit it in. Your recognition of my loyalty honors me, Executive Manager. I, Otis, understand better than anyone you're concerned about the peril of working with a prisoner of war so liable to betray. To have your indispensable self proceed with only a handful of soldiers under your command, this cannot stand. I'm afraid I won't be able to focus on other duties without personally seeing to your safety. Not keen on how I just keel over the moment you summon me. Feels a bit dodgy, that. Better I stick by your side and scrap it out myself. You probably don't need me to come along then. I guess you can just summon the rest of us like you did earlier if shit hits the fan. A research yet unfinished holds my efforts. I shall join you once it has found closure. Aww. I'll miss you most of all, Yi-sung. They actually plan on continuing it with an HBO series, but bombed at the box office. Yeah, that makes sense. Hello, Helena Gaming. First time watching this game. Is it free? Yes, Limbus Company is a free game. And it's going well. I'm kind of eepy, so I'll be yawning in and out. So, sorry about that. Or I guess you're welcome if you're into it. But I hope you're also doing well, Helena. Someone said Dune should have been a 6-part miniseries, and I can definitely see why. I've not read Dune, but given how long the series, I can see why. Yeah, Dune is... That's probably why it's getting, like, a second-part movie thing. Do you play any other game beside this you would recommend to me? There's a game I will not recommend because it's like League of Legends, but in the same way, because it's like League of Legends, I actually really like it, and it's called Rematch. It is a soccer game, and I love it to death, even if my teammates are sometimes just the most awful players ever and will never be team players with me. But yeah, Rematch is fun. Hearthstone, if you like card games, it's another free game, and currently they're doing a weird thing where, like, new players not only get a ranked starting deck that's not that bad, but you will also get access to all the cards from a certain period in order to better make decks, and until you unlock them. And what other games do I do? It's usually this Rematch. Slay the Spire 2 is really fun. Do you stream? I don't stream daily. I want to stream more, and so far it just seems like I'm going to be doing a lot of midnight streams. So, unfortunately, this is very much a... there's a chance I stream, there's a chance I don't, and I will never tell anyone when that is, basically. It's just going to be an event. I don't think it can be much help wherever you're going. I'll pass. Aw, Rojo. Come back. I will follow if that is your order, manager. No, it's fine. Just get some rest. It'll probably be okay. I can always summon them again if things get too dangerous. Well, I've something interesting. If you don't mind, can I share with you? I mean, of course. You're always free to send messages in the chat and stuff like that. I'm an artist. I've been working with streamers for about 4 to 5 years and would love to customize something for you in a friendly budget. I do not have a friendly budget. I do not make money off of really anything. So I cannot cover any of the costs. And before you say, oh, you know, I can do it for free, no. So would you like to see what some of my creatives? I will pass on it, Helena Gaming. And I hope you have a good night because I'm partially thinking that you are just here to self-promote and will leave if you don't get it. Also, finally, I am not crazy. Saruhide is coming up. I've been waiting for this guy for so long. Ever since the Kanto, I was always like, when's Saruhide coming? I will throw you in, though. Problem with that is, yeah. Actually, no, orange is fine. We don't want to keep this. Actually, I can throw you out now because I have green. 4, 5, 6. I should put you last. Yes. Hi, Eggs Gummy. Nice to see you as well. There's Alan. Hello, Alan. Sister through and isolated the doors with the highest probability of leading into the rings gallery. The next step would be to enter the alternate door you mentioned, but... Hold up a sec. I was actually gatekeeping more stuff. Alright. Are you saying you have more to tell me about gates, doors? Yep. That door over there, pretty sure it connects to N-Corp's nest. I saw Albina going in, all hyped about some canned whatever it was. Don't tell me she's going in for canned experiences. The woman beater. And that wooden door with bandages wrapped around the handle, Papa'd go in there to cross out vengeances. From what the book said, it's probably a turf protected by a thumb subsidiary or something. Unlike earlier when she offered only vague snippets, even about just a single door, Kira was now feeding Alan a stream of intel that seemed solid, even to someone as clueless about the back door as me. She's far more corrupt cooperative than anticipated, even after that Alan character slapped her. After he just straight up beat her. Yeah, you'd think she'd clam up out of spite. I wonder if she changed her mind about cooperating with us. I hope it's not a thing of like, yes, him beating her, it makes it like he's strong and she'll respect that strength kind of thing. I'm hoping it's not that. I'm hoping she just kind of learned her place in this pecking order. Freaking, I can literally hear everything you're saying, you know. Alright then, based on the intel, please proceed by investigating the safest doors first. As for the high-risk ones, I'll continue checking and let you know which ones you need to enter. And they all look about the same, just start with the closest one. Well, Alan did say these are the safest ones, so it shouldn't matter which one. Just as I reached for the nearest door as Heathcliff told me to, Roshi suddenly veered off, stopping in front of another one that stood a few steps apart. This door. It feels familiar. You recognize that door? I think I passed through it a few times when I was little. Hardly had Ryoshu stopped speaking when a fragmented memory painted over in parts slipped into my mind. Sorry, it hurt a lot, didn't it? Yo, someone in YouTube? Hello, little brother of the middle. I hope you're having a good night or morning, depending upon where you are. Still just going through the event. I should have finished my homework faster. Oh, I know. Let's go for a walk. But I don't recall much about it. That memory just now could be tied to Araya. Let's start with that door. Impatient as ever, Heathcliff shoved the door open and strode in first. The rest of us followed, including Kira and the other sinners. Fine, my big bro gave me a spare hair coupon. Nice! Hope you get a good cut then. Oh, this place looks so nice. Judging by its state, it seems to be a welfare facility located within a nest, most likely a park. Every sod walking here is dragging some animal along. Means I've got some money to burn. Proper rich lot, this place. The walk, the past Ryoshu mentioned in her memory, and the sight of people fussing over their pets. The pieces clicked together, and I voiced the other memory I saw back at the House of Spiders. Oh, that's I keep forgetting that Saru was the puppy. And then I have to remember what happens to the puppy named Saru. Yeah, I remember that. Not a puppy, though. Saru was a bit bigger by then. Oh. Sorry, it hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Jeez. He's so big and fluffy, though. Like... Puppy. It's incredibly cruel what happened here, but Puppy... Why isn't she getting any better? I gave her lots to eat. Oh, I know. Wanna go for walkies? You love walkies, don't you, Saru? Pets the puppy. I would love this puppy with my life, but also... Oh, if it wasn't so late. Thankfully, I did get my walkies in earlier today. I got to watch 2 episodes of Psych to it, but... Walkie's so nice. There's this workshop Dan always visits. The door there is connected to a park. We can go right now. Aww. Roshi's childhood memory burned bright in my vision before passing. That was her as a kid? Oh, no, I'm sorry. You were with us from the start. You were part of the previous team. That's right. Verily, such gentleness doth seem most unlike thee, young Ryoshu. Good job, Don. Hey, Clock. Who said you could show them my memories willy-nilly? No, come on, you know it's not something I can control. Gigi. Which I'm gonna read as just get good. Back in the House of Spiders, I was the only one who could see the vision of Ryoshi's past. This time, though, her memories seemed to manifest for everyone around, just like what we experienced in H-Corp with Honglu. Which probably means... Why are you staring at me? That's so random, what the hell? Did you not see that just now? See what, you guys zoning out together? Guess it doesn't apply to Kira. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only applying to those we have, like, actual connections and chains with. Then again, unlike how it was between Lin Dayu and Honglu, Kira doesn't have any direct... Okay, that's right, it is just connections. I guess it makes sense. Aww. Was that adorable hound thy companion of old, young Ryoshi? Indeed, my one and only best friend. And because of that, Saru will be locked away in the vault every time I had to depart on an assignment, with a spiral driven through her. The first ever leash. Looking back, it might have been a kinder fate had she died sooner. Once again, they're just evil. To inflict such cruelty upon a voiceless animal, how can such wickedness be born? What happened to Saru in the end? She died before her time. I don't recall why, but there was this day when Saru wouldn't stop whimpering in pain, and I shut myself in my room crying. It wasn't just one time, they did that to her several times. You were? Not someone else? Who else? Of course it was me. Even after witnessing the fragment of memory, Heathcliff looked utterly unconvinced. And while I was grieving, Callisto offered a solution. Said he would give me a gift the next day, meaning he is just the most evil father ever, practically. And what I received was something he called the Beastbone Blade. A Tonto that would whine and yelp and what the heck? Okay. I thought he was going to make an art piece, not, hey, yo, here's a sword that has the sound effects of your dog in pain. Have fun. Like, I feel like that's somehow even more evil than locking her with spirals in her. Like, what do you mean this is your idea of a gift, Callisto? I'm so glad you're dead. We already knew the sword prepper yet. I hate him so much. No, he didn't kill Saru. That Tonto was alive. Bloody hell, right out of that psycho. The idea about it whimpering is crazy. Yeah, apparently so. Her eyes were Her eyes were embedded in it like adornments, and they'd stare at me in accusation. The tiny heart beat as though it was quaking with fear. Cool. So it's not just making the noises of it. Wait, what did they do with the sword? The sound of what? Yeah, so apparently it's not just the whimpering of the dog. No, now the dog also gets to look at its master and to continue to bring her pain. Cool. Wonderful. Callisto, you're such an evil bastard. It was a horrible sight, and I felt pity. So I shortened what remained of her time with my own hands. Got me thinking after hearing all that, why do you still mess with that art thing then? Let's be honest, after seeing something like that, you don't want to steer well clear, yeah? Right? Those things he called artworks are also cursed. Straight up nightmare fuel. Like, I haven't checked out other ring artworks outside Albina and her nurse fathers, so maybe I'm just a noob when it comes to all that, but yeah, their stuff never gave me any art vibes for real. I thought the same. Well, I was terrified at first. Yet as I learned more, there were some facets that suited my taste. Thou findest appeal in those grotesque creations. Yep, I'm sorry to hear that. Don, Sancho, close your ears. If the developers intend to make you loathe the character that did that with the sword, it is working. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're supposed to hate him because he's evil as all heck. There's, like, no good people in the House of Spiders. Rian is, like, one of the few. Araya is, I guess, debatably good, but she was more so an innocent that was turned into something worse. From what you've told me about Callisto, it looks like he failed to stick to his own advice. But there's something he always used to say. Art is wholly subjective, and thus one must never expect the understanding of others. Yeah, no, it's not going to cover you, Callisto. I wish I could go back and kill you again and again. The uncanny, the horrible. There's a beauty that lies in the grotesqueness of it all. Can't say I quite get it, but if you say so. Nah, bloody hell. How do you end up getting used to that kind of thing? Why do you need to understand? You're not an artist. I got used to it, but that bastard Callisto's installation artworks caused night terrors and nightmares for... Come on, you... I really want to nurse Father Tearless from after this interval. A certain Sinclair is truly based for what he did to him. A certain Sinclair is just truly based in general. Let's be real. He is one of the basest characters ever. Also, Grand, she does remember Araya, and also it's because Callisto is just a huge asshole. And yes, I am gonna swear for that because I hate him. It trembled, but there was at once a strange liveliness to it, as though it quivered between fear and anticipation. Night terrors, crying from nightmares in the House of Spiders. There was actually someone who got scared of ring stuff back in your day. I read that in the completely wrong tone. I need to check something. We've seen enough here. Let's go back. Yeah, nothing else worth checking around here anyway. With the inspection complete, we quickly followed Ryoshi back. She stood in front of the artworks covered in sheets of cloth, lost in thought. Right here. There used to be a huge artwork displayed here. I don't know what kind of impulse struck him, but the bastard went about fussing, saying he needed practice so he wouldn't lose his touch. Someone did a book review of this fantasy book on Goodreads, but someone described one villain as being so evil that said villain would be playing pool with Darth Vader, and that just conjured up an image in my mind of the two playing together and was the silliest thing ever. I'm curious why Darth Vader is their choice when, even though, like, yes, he is evil, ultimately he is redeemed by it. Whereas Callisto is just straight, fully evil. So if someone is... one villain is so evil that they would be playing pool with Vader, I kind of feel like it's either they're more evil or not enough evil. Oh, she's like actually genuinely worried. Thank you for restoring faith in me, Ryoshu. Or I guess Yoshihide. What's wrong? Over there. Jeez. Thought I told you to keep the exhibition in your room. Ah, you've returned, Yoshihide. I decided to attempt installation art of a somewhat larger scale this time, but I ran out of space in my gallery. You jerk. Mommy, people were screaming. Yoshihide, God. Dearest Yoshihide, Araya has reached an age where she may be introduced into the world of aesthetics. Surely this wouldn't be a problem. And what? You liking it and me acquiring the taste doesn't mean Araya will. Let's get you back to our room. I was hugging something in my arms. I was crying. Sere. No, too big to be Sere. The lacerated memories can never be made whole, no matter how many fragments are glued together. We could tell Ryoshu everything we knew about Araya, but it'd never truly reach her. I see. This hollow void. This must be Araya. That's so sad, actually. The sensation and emotion for what's been emptied begin to entangle within Ryoshi's memories. And that makes it possible for us to reminisce about Araya together. The soft rattle Araya gave seemed to show how pleased she was with this small step. We entered several more back doors that Alan pointed out, but unfortunately, none of the places we ended up at stirred Ryoshi's memories any further. Pretty much nothing here. Think we're done. What the? How'd they get in here? Grand, the furries are back. Didst thou not say thou hast sealed the door earlier? How then do these villains come to stand before us once more? They probably infiltrated via an entirely separate route, another back door. As you can see, their objective appears to be the retrieval of the ring nurse father's artworks. Get on with it. Wait to move as many pieces as we can before we pull out. Wait, but I thought Robo Uncle's washed. He's got so many fanboys and fangirls here. Nah, he's completely washed in my book. Does this artwork possess value in and of itself? Or is it just a case of posthumous premium of death effect? Think about it. Some of the pieces have already been taken. Of course, they are of little value to both our companies. Watching them sweating and struggling to drag those mediocre pieces with them. Pretty funny. I love Karen. I know you do. Makes me think of the Robot Chicken episode where Michael and Jason become best friends. Oh, that was such a funny skit, actually. That and also all the horror characters in the, Big Brother house. That was another good Robot Chicken skit. But imagining how those pieces will be labeled with some pathetic notion of heritage connected to my name on their description plaques, pretty unsavory. They may be occupied with transporting those objects for now, but they will likely soon find cause to harm the Wayfarer and LCE personnel stationed here, Executive Manager. It would be prudent to eliminate them without delay, considering the ring's reputation. Guys, looks like we got another job to do. The radio didn't buzz with the sinner's replies this time, but it should be fine. At least Ryoshi's a good mom. That is, I think, the best thing about this, is that Ryoshu constantly is proven to be a very loving mother. Even if it's now all the more painful that she doesn't remember Araya. But oh my gosh, all of these nurse fathers, none of you are good except maybe Rien as, barely better than the others. Come on. Thank you, Ishmael. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have expected you to actually win that E-song. That actually was a kind of difficult one for that skill. I'm still angry. You're probably gonna lose this one. You're probably gonna, debatable. And of course, I do not have another of the sloth for you. And Taya was right. Roja did end up losing it. Pop off, Dawn. She still hasn't broken out yet. Interesting. Let me... You know, let me actually just ego this. And then, what do I need for you now? You're on red card. I'll go for victory on Faust. Because that's probably for the best instead of trying to go for ego resource. And because Roge is not actually here, I don't get to hear her pretty voice line. Shame. There's another yawn for you, Matt. I forgot you're here, Carol. Just kind of doing mindless stuff again. What's your bullet? You're at 3 bullet count. You're fine. Oh, nice, a 4-hit Kozan. It's actually really good. I'm usually expecting a 3-1 for her. Thank you. I'm surprised you didn't put the prayer hands next to it. Jeez. Just one tap to that guy. Pop off done. Looks like we are gonna walk this in then. No ammo, I refuse to use that then. Really? Fine. Keep following the Hermes device. Let's go, we got the stagger. Did not know this was AoE, but jeez. That looks cool. And she gets the kill? Heck yeah. With this, the last of the ring's infiltrators have been eradicated. Is that all of them? Yes, she kept glancing around as if searching for someone, but fortunately, no other ring members were in sight. Right, but where the hell were those lot coming from anyway? Weren't just the first wave, had more of the sods leaking it in from the back like they'd been lurking somewhere else. According to the tracking logs recorded by the surveillance devices installed here, they appear to have crossed over from another corridor. Sorry about that. I thought I heard movement, and I wanted to check it out. What precisely does the designation "another corridor" refer to? The room resembling a shopping mall, the one filled with batches of toys on display. Your company, if I recall correctly, designated it as the corridor of the middle nurse father. Oh. I suggest we relocate there. Your assigned tasks here have been wrapped up. Oh, and before we set off, do you have any information to share in advance? We are planning to compile a comprehensive encyclopedia cataloging the notable characteristics of these corridors and all of their connection loci. Your cooperation will be most appreciated. Kira seemed to hesitate, gnawing at her nails as if she were going through an inner struggle. Before long, however, she snapped out of it like she'd locked in on a decision. Sure, I got stuff to tell you, like hella stuff. Some parts are kind of fuzzy, not gonna lie, but I can still recall like 20 places clear enough. I mean, that was home for me and Papa, so... I got nothing. I never once regarded that fucker's room as a home, and my memories of it are all fragments at best. The scabbard gave a faint, restless stir. Perhaps it wanted to comfort Ryoshu in the only way it could, by doing saber rattling. And accompanied by its tremors, we began our move toward the corridor of the middle. Great, now we get to see how bad of a father Matt is. Oh boy. The heck, they swiped everything that wasn't nailed down. Fret not, I espy thither half of thy worldly possessions, articulated fixer, figurines, video game cartridges. I'm not talking about my toy box, Kay. I had hella many of them anyway. My TV's gone, the couch too. Jeez. What do you mean they took your furniture? As Kira said, only a conspicuous empty space was left for the television and family couches that used to be. Oh, those? LCE researchers hauled them away. From the sound of it, they're gonna set them up in their stuff. Wow, you're just actual jerks for that one. As for the leather and the ornaments, they said they'll be selling cheese. Yeah? Oda seemed to notice something the moment she caught Kira's wistful look. The corners of her lips curled into a faint smile as she spoke with feigned nonchalance. Of course you're doing that smirk. Who knows? With sufficient cooperation, perhaps they'd become more receptive to the idea of returning those items. Assuming much, I never said I wanted them back. Anyway, I'll tell you all about what I know, so come this way if you want in. The Easter doors here are made from paper and wood. They connect to S Corp. And that one reinforced with steel. That one leads to V Corp. Back streets where... Having lived here and made frequent use of the doors herself, Kira was clearly the right person for the job of identifying where each door Wayfarer Company had asked us to explore led. Directed by Kira and accompanied by Alan, we checked the doors one by one. Good work. All data seems to match. Thank you for your cooperation. Until there was just one back door left to open. I know this isn't anything new, but I've got to say, these back doors are just bloody convenient. Them portals, too. It ain't doing anything shady like the warp trains either, is it? Yours is as simple as turning the knob and entering. Seems to me you all pace your business rival in no time. I'm a bit hard-pressed to agree with the too convenient sentiment when it comes to using back doors and portals, but since your intent was to claim Wayfarer superiority over the current W Corp, I'll take that as a compliment. Did I say something wrong? Oh, poor Heathcliff. Every technology comes with a cost, Heathcliff. Aptly said. While this has been a workday relatively free of casualties thanks to the quality information you've provided, do understand that Wayfarer Company's primary services include pathfinding, path security, and path maintenance. Each of those services is fraught with life-threatening dangers for our employees. Some never return after embarking on a pathfinding journey. Some are killed while battling monstrous entities whose exact natures haven't even been confirmed yet, that appear in the liminal space between paths. It also costs a pretty penny to keep the secured path, well, secure. I'd say our operating cost is on the rather steep side, especially considering that we're also trying to prevent our rivals from taking this corner of the market. Doing a quick YouTube check, make sure everything's still good over here. Which it looks like it is. Thinking back, I don't think I've ever seen Alan enter a door to a new location with his helmet off. It must be one of his precautions, just in case. Yeah, in case it's like poisoned. Maybe his dry smile and unsettling lack of reaction to anything are hints that he simply seemed too much to be fazed by most horrors. Still, our work's gotten considerably easier for this job thanks to the help from everyone here. Honestly, this partnership is working much better than I expected. Very well then, let's take a look at the last door. It's the door Papa used to walk through all the time. I followed Kira into the back door, and the second I crossed over the threshold, a breeze carrying an oddly familiar, salty smell tickled the tip of my nose at one of my clock hands. Cute, cute, cute. This one connects to somewhere in the general Great Lake area, it seems. I see a private room there. That's worrying. Welcome to U-Corp's giant Stingray port ship. Stingray, huh? Why does that ring a bell? Hang on a minute. It's that place, isn't it? That port ship that is Salon des Moulins, the private hair salon? Heathcliff chimed in with a shudder, as though the sheer weight behind his words terrified him. Ooh, doth it signify then that we shall finally be made audience to young Heathcliff and his hairdo most luscious? Quit it with that luscious nonsense, lass. Why you encourage me now when you were so cavalier about blasting my villainous arse back at the lake? Indeed. Alas, 'tis true that punishment wrought upon our merry band hath severely outweighed the crime. Wouldst thou not agree, young Heathcliff, that to put the coupons to use would remedy thy pain a smidge? Bugger it. I ain't even got anyone to spruce up for anymore. Aw. Sweet, then can I use them? We were regulars at that Mollet place, Papa and me. Papa would ask the middle fam for a favor, and he'd bring loads of coupons back home. They give away a hair coupon every 10 visits, you see, so what am I even yapping about, all excited? Kira, who seemed ready to launch into a cheerful rant, came to an abrupt pause, like a bike tripping over a ledge. Her face fell as she lowered her gaze and scuffed up. Aw. Looking back, I guess Papa did hella care for me. So why? But it's also true that these guys went out of their way to get me out of there, even though they didn't know me so well. Why's it gotta be so complicated? Matthias gave you that unaesthetic BC. The heck's a BC? Bull cut. Bro, listen, like I said, that's not how you shorten these things. Okay, you're doing that one on purpose now. For some reason, Ryoshi seemed almost gleeful to hear Kira correcting her acronym. It was reminiscent of that self-satisfied look she'd get after confusing us with these acronyms, especially during the early days of our bus journey. Thinking back, ever since Sinclair's translations became reliable enough, the sinners had less reason to voice their frustrations with Ryoshi's acronyms, which in turn gave her fewer causes to snicker about. Well, I'm glad you're having fun at least, Ryoshi. Something tells me that she might be making her acronyms ridiculously incomprehensible on purpose. If your conjecture is correct, Executive Manager, she has one tasteless sense of humor. From what I recall, the toys and games he was into were pretty retro. Must have been annoying to play along. At first, but the more I played along, the more I got into it. Still corny and juvenile as shit, though. I know aught of that conflict within thee. Yes, the true pain of having a cringe father. Trifling and apocryphal they may be, yet we are all compelled to peer hindwards at the interests of the family. Yeah, I wanted to know what Papa was into to really get what he was talking about. Besides, I needed to know these things if I wanted to chat him up and talk about a mutual subject, so... He'd tell me all about you all the time, Yoshihide. Proud shit. Not a day went by without him saying stuff like, Yoshihide learned this in 2 days, or, yo, this was Yoshihide's fave, you know? Too bad I wasn't here to tell you that his words weren't worth shit. I once thought of him the same as you do now. A good man, at least among the nurse fathers. Caring enough to bring me gifts. But one day, I realized that he'd never understand the things I really cared about, even if his life had depended on it. One day, thou sayest? Suddenly one day, you say? Pray tell, was there aught that had changed thy perception of that man? That... I don't remember when or why, just that it happened. Wait, I might know this. Wasn't it something that happened at school? Papa told me that things started getting awkward between you and him ever since you quit school. Bullshit. I've never been to school. I never even thought of wanting to go to school. Matthias must have been talking out of his ass again. No way, bro. I even saw a clip of it. I even saw it on these YouTube shorts. Papa showed me that video when he was teaching me how to use these doors. I even saw baby you going, "I'm off to school, Dad," in that video, so I'm pretty dang sure. But I don't. As Kira went on, Ryoshi's confidence from her initial retort seemed to slip away. I couldn't blame her. So much of her memory had been mutilated. Ryoshi didn't sound like she was denying it out of hand, though. She seemed to mean it when she said she'd never been to school and had never even wanted to. And I wanted to glimpse that fragment of memory that made her say that. The moment I willed it, a scene from her past suddenly flashed across my eyes. Very well, Yoshihide, I will register you in an institution that is not entirely dissimilar from school. There is a subsidiary of the Ring Academy. You sure it was a school, not like an art academy or something like it? Perchance it'd be an academy, not a school. Wait, that kind of makes more sense, yeah. Must have been an academy, not a school. Let's just keep saying it 3 times, like it's Servine or something. Academy of Art. Ryoshi muttered a few words as though they were pieces of a puzzle she was assembling. Then, after a brief moment, she turned toward me with an astounded scoff and a look of mild irritation. Clock. You deserve a smack. Why? What was that? Yeah, what is that for? This memory sucks, Clock. I would have been just fine without it. But at least I got to remember the incident that changed my perspective on Matthias. Dad, how do I go to a school? Callisto, just get out of here. I'm sick of you being anywhere in this. School, Yoshihide? Well, I don't see why you would wish, let alone need to go to such an institution when we nurse fathers are here to provide you with all the education you require. You would later find our unique style of homeschooling to have been much more enlightening than trudging through any of the nest's formulaic educational systems. But Dad, I saw him in a picture book. And I don't have any friends here. Oh, Rhiannon is pointless. But it is true that there are qualities that can be learned only through group erudition that engenders competition. I still hate you. I don't care if you're speaking sense, I still hate you. Very well, Yoshihide, I will register you in an institution that is not entirely dissimilar from school. Really? I intend to send Yoshi... how do we have this memory if she wasn't here for it? Unless she... Okay. I'll shut up and wait. I intend to send Yoshihide to an academy as part of my educational curriculum. There is an Academy of Art, a subsidiary of the Ring. Companionship with other talented children of approximately her age will nourish the spirit of inspiration that will guide Yoshihide's growth. The prescript approves. But Callisto, I'll tell you now that you might be making a mistake. And how are you so certain of that? Do elaborate if you can, hand puppet of prescripts by whom every aspect of existence is articulated. What do you even know of choice, of what is right or wrong? And off they went. Perhaps a little more situational awareness would have been... would have prevented what is to come. Callisto had found me a rather decent academy. The artworks that used to scare me when I was alone weren't so bad when I was with other kids. No, that's not quite it. It'd be more accurate to say that I started to understand people's perspective on beauty. Of course I would, when all we ever did was nod along to the lecturers and spout purple prose, all the while making pincushions out of people's bodies like it was nothing. Oh cool, a white room. Our lesson today will focus on corporist techniques. Now, take a good look at the diagram here, then the mannequins before you. Weave the blood vessels in the same pattern as the diagram, and... I don't know why we're even learning about corporate stuff in this day and age. Right, I don't get what the point of this slog is. Tying and shaping blood vessels to make a color that a drop of ink can do better. I've read that in a book. At least you have a cuter uniform than they do. I'm more excited to learn about Cubist technique than this crap. Honestly, why'd this washed-up movement even a part of the curriculum? It's just boring, shallow gore stuff. No, yeah, it's gory, but it's boring and shallow only because you guys are bad at it. Dang, Yoshihide, you can't just say that. What? Aw, you mad because your daddy's a lame corporist? Oh, is he? No wonder her stuff is just ow. I was taught that people who say bad things about my family deserve to get their butt kicked. Oh, so that's why you smacked me. Them bad-mouthing Callisto wasn't actually what set me off. I didn't have any special reverence or attachment to family like Matthias did either. It's just what I was taught to dislike, that's all. Just one of those tantrums kids of that age have. Kids will be kids and all that. I'm home, Dad. Hey, buddy, you're home early. Oh man, must have been playing rough today, huh? You've got dust all over. Got into a fight. A fight? Yeah, they kept saying dumb things about class stuff, so I smacked them. What about you? They didn't hit you anywhere, did they, buddy? On my cheek, but it's okay, because I pinched them this many more to awe. Did I do good? That's my girl. Dad? Matthias, you can't just go and attack the children. Oh, you know, just got some business to take care of. Why don't you sit tight and work on a coloring book? Daddy will be home for you before you know it. Okay. Is it bro business? No, it's family business. I ain't seeing what's so bad about taking care of your own. Them snotty sods don't learn respect unless you beat it into them. If only he'd been a simple-minded fool like you, then the story would have ended right there with a pat on my head. What? Papa, I mean, the middle doesn't stop there. It never does. The middle never forgets. You hurt a member of the family, that automatically gets you written up in the book. Yeah, and he did what he did in the end. Jeez. What the heck, Matthias? Is class starting already? My diligent little girl. Wonder who she takes after. Dad? I know. I said I'll be back before you know it, but I got a bit lost trying to find my way through the ring bastard's tricky mazes. You know how they are. Oh yeah, and there's so many sniveling brats here. Well, for their crimes, they slapped my buddy's face hard enough to leave a mark. That's an arm for you. As for the instructors, well, anyone would agree that they did one sorry job of keeping these tykes under control. Dude spawn camping. Dude's capturing their their spawn camp itself. In that case, pursuant to Title II, Section 52 of the book, execution by beheading. They clearly don't got much use for what sits on their shoulders, eh? How do you like it, buddy? Papa's the best, ain't he? How dare he? Such senseless barbaric violence. Uncultured, uncivilized animal. Do not be discouraged, dearest Yoshihide. I'm over here now. Hi, blacksmith. Good to see you over there, instead of on the purple site. I have eyed out yet another academy worthy of your talents. It is a much more significant and prestigious institution this time. I assure you, even an intemperate berserker like Matthias won't dare force his way into such a place as he did the previous academy. Don't wanna... Yoshihide? You can still call me Bianca here, I know. But I just see the name and my brain will immediately go to the name. I don't want to go to an academy. I don't want to go. I don't need friends at all. Come on. For all his posturing, nothing that was ever important to me held any significance to Matthias. He took a lot away from me just to feel good about himself. So I hoped he, more than anyone, would never find out about the things I held dear, because I was afraid he would take them away from me like he did the others. But he'd always catch on faster than he had any right to. Every contract that took me away from the House of Spiders made me tremble in anxiety, because I was worried about... I don't want to remember what, but I do know that I could never stop thinking about my room. So whatever occupied the room in my absence must have been the most precious thing to me in the world. The scabbard, which had been stirring lightly as Ryoshu recounted her past, soon began to rattle audibly. It's doing that thing again. Ryoshu patted the scabbard with a gentle, reassuring hand. Aw. Good mom. The scabbard that was once a Raya, a memory without attachment. It appeared to me almost as though she was pacifying a crying child. I mean, that is what she's doing. Seeing that gesture, Heathcliff briefly cast a sullen, yet faintly expectant gaze between Ryoshu's scabbard and my device. He must be thinking back to his last conversation with Catherine. But Catherine's existence, unlike Araya's, was erased by the golden bow itself. I doubt this device could do anything for Heathcliff at this point. From everything we know, the ring nurse father seems to have been the least awful parental figure in your childhood. Huh? Yeah. Didn't know that Robo-Uncle was such a radical guy. He sent you to an academy like you wanted and even got angry on your behalf. Except he really didn't. He got more angry about Matthias just being an uncouth moron. Hazy memories, almost forgotten to mention. A few days after that, Calista left a snowman for my pillow as a gift. It was made of heads. Heads? Yes, decapitated heads from the incident at the academy, threaded together into a sculpture. Okay, thank you, writers, for being for just being like, yeah, no, Callisto's still awful. Thinking back, it was one sorry excuse for an art. He's sorely mistaken if he thought some low-effort bullshit like that could make me feel better. Could have spared us the details, lass. Well, with that covered, do you guys want to head back? Hang on. This is why I want that tier list from out. I'm sorry, it is just hilarious how it's like, oh yeah, Callisto's actually not that bad. Ryoshu, actually. What's up? Gonna get that luscious treatment before heading back. They're all competing for last place. So true. Shut it, you. That ain't it. Look there, those blokes walking out of the salon. These guys are here too? Jeez. It would not be odd to find a field branch of the Ring's art movement in different districts of the city, especially that of the Fauvist scale. However, various evidence, such as their masks and the fact that our group has immediately drawn their attention, suggest that they are in the same pack as the one making regular incursions into the House of Spiders. This is LCB speaking to Team Leader Alan, requesting immediate commencement of lockdown sequence. Copy that. Then why don't we... Holy shit, guys, stop! Bloody hell, what? Don't you know where you are? You're smack dab in the middle protected turf. Cause a scene and bros and sisters of the middle will be here any second. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that. We've already drawn the Ring's unwanted attention. We certainly don't want the middle coming after us to the House of Spiders too. Aw. Darn. The brother from the middle is not here for this. Sounds like you've got a GI. Talk. Ever played whack-a-mole? Like, why give ourselves a countdown? Just head back through the door now and beat up whoever thinks it's a great idea to walk in through the door. She puts forth a sound strategy, Executive Manager. As long as there's no high-ranking officer among them, it would be to our benefit. Well then, let's do as Kira says. That was quick. Due to newly emergent complications past the door, we've concluded that this location is the optimal point to intercept and engage the infiltrators from the ring. This location, you say? Wait, that door leads to a zone under Syndicate or Wings protection, doesn't it? Better idea to fight here, then. Happy to work with someone quick on the uptake. And I summon the sinners back to work. Come on, guys, you gotta earn your paycheck. Come on. Alright, I'm gonna try to defend. And we'll get some green as well. Let's go, Roja. Come on. Good job, Kira. Unfortunately, I do not have the gloom for it. Let's go, Roja. No, I was asking for too much to stagger him. Dang. Everyone else looks like they're holding their own, thankfully. Oh, he actually won that Honglu. Nice. Yeah, we can send a big bullet through, I think. Then you need another sloth, and we'll just triple orange this. Surely that'll be enough. Surely it'll be enough. I mean, this has to kill. Dang, it didn't. Speed diff not enough, I guess. Faust casually defying gravity on that kill. Good job done. You're free now. And so is Albina Faust. You could say she freed the nipple. The Hermit Gamer. Hi, the Hermit Gamer. Hope you're having a good night tonight. Or a good day, depending upon where you are. Just doing some Limbus Company. Yeah, finally finished a refractal for the Intervallo. Nice! I actually have been putting off this event so much, so I still need to unlock the refractal. Finally, PM has given me the reason to bring my resources to bear. Nice. Of course, I'm not using the right color. That's gonna be the worst Kozon ever. Good job, Kira. Good job, Honglu, for the stagger. And then pop off Dawn. Bye, Heathcliff. You completed the job, but the job was already finished. Miseries. Okay, and that wraps up the middles corridor. Thanks to you folks, we managed to cut the door cataloging workload by 80%. I really appreciate everyone going the extra mile to check each and every door, too. Made my life a whole lot easier. It's all thanks to the manager's excellent strategization. I hate your kiss ass so much, Otis. It is bringing the swearing out of me. I hate it so much. Next up, the Thumbs corridor. But we actually found a lot of intel lying around there. So we just need you to check some of the doors in its basement. Intel. The manager expresses interest in the aforementioned intel. Ah, that. In the Thumbs corridor, we came across a bundle of papers detailing the comings and goings of the Thumbs members and the orders they were carrying. Whoever wrote the logs has been diligently keeping them updated. The last entry was written not so long ago. While the contents of the notes weren't all that interesting, they helped us get an idea of where each door in that corridor leads to. Valentina's shitty scrap papers. She'd been keeping up with that useless shit this whole time. Remnants of her desperate search for a thread to cling to. You found one of her backup ticket horns. I've marked any doors that need work with a drone. There should be about 3 or 4 of them. While you guys do that, I've got some leftover work to take care of over here, so... I've been noticing this throughout our interactions. But whenever anything irrelevant to his work came up, Alan seemed to have a way of unhearing and maneuvering right past it, as though he didn't even register what was said. Recalling our conversation with Chazara back at P-Corp, that deeply uncurious indifference might just be one of the essential personality traits to go on as a corporate employee of the city. Understood. We will explore the areas past the marked doors and return here. Thanks a ton. Well then. Bye, Alan. Tell the basement that got wrecked. Hey, there's someone in there. More of the ring, maybe? Going by their silhouettes, they're unlikely to be members of the ring. Come on, lady, get out of my way so I can see. It's the detective, some stubbly guy I don't know, and that annoyingly airy dude. Sounds like Moses, Gregor, and Honglu, respectively. The trio's conversation grew clearer the closer I approached them. You okay, fella? You bumped your head earlier. Fine as a fiddle. It was just a minor fall. What an interesting cast of characters. This is the 3rd time it's occurred. We ought to discuss this issue with the manager once this consultation is over. I think I'm seeing a bump on the side of Honglu's head. Anyway, you know what to do, right? If at any moment you see signs of... Don't worry, Gregor. You made it through the explanation and the footage both. You're going to be fine again. I believe in you. Look at you now. We're right where it happened, but your arm is stable, see? Ironically, fear tends to grow most unmitigated when it is distant and unseen. I understand what you might be worried about, but I don't even see the earliest portents of it. So don't hesitate to share the unfiltered thoughts that arise while you're in here. I know what I saw in the footage, but I'm still having a hard time believing it. Or, I don't know. Maybe I'm just avoiding the truth when it's staring me right in the face. My case is nothing like Don Quixote's. She just needs to keep her shoes on and it's all good and dandy for her, isn't it? Things don't work out that way for me. Whatever they're talking about sounds hella deep, guys. You sure about eavesdropping on him like this? Like Keys is always weirdly cagey about himself. Maybe now's our chance to learn more about him. That's like the nicest idea you've could have thought about Heathcliff. He's sharing such an IS about himself for once. Nice, interesting story. Why walk away? Don Quixote gives a nonsensical interpretation of Ryoshi's acronym as Kira rolls her eyes out of exasperation. Between the bickering sinners and Kira, however, Otis stands in silence with an inscrutable look on her face. She is listening to the exchange between Moses and Gregor like a woman possessed. So just like a woman, huh? Otis was right. Damn it, she was right all along. The war isn't over. It never was. And it can't ever be over as long as this fucking joke of a gift stays attached to my arm. Barbed words. Now, let's revisit a question you couldn't answer while the footage was playing. Hopefully it's become easier to answer now. You've been using that arm to fight just fine so far. How? I don't mind fighting hostiles or enemies. I'm not the kind of person who worries about people trying to kill me. But killing my comrades, that changes things, doesn't it? I can't even control it. There's nothing I can do to even brace for it. It's unstoppable. Like some kind of time bomb counting down to unleash a disease you never know when its symptoms will set off. Even Heathcliff, who was always the first to step when people began to spiral into self-hatred, stood in conflicted silence, his lips drawing a hard, straight line. Game looks fun. Meanwhile, baby Greg, I'm not buggy, so true to Hermit Gamer. Let me get rid of you first. Also, hi there, Vinella. Yes, it is a very fun game. It's also a very depressing game when it comes to the characters. Besides, Gregor wasn't wrong in that. At present, there wasn't any way to stop his transformation should it occur again. We've still got a good chunk of the journey left, and eventually we'll have to... Yep. No matter what lurks in the past of us sinners, even if they have killed hundreds, thousands, no, tens of thousands of innocent people, will you still embrace them? We'll eventually have to confront an even darker, bleaker truth of the war. Yeah, we're gonna have to confront Otis's genocide, I guess. Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in here, Vinella, but it's still really cool and interesting. And then also sometimes it's just the worst thing you could ever think of. And by worst, I mean like, not like, aw man, this is ass, but more like, aw man, the depths this will go is just horrendously deep. I heard so much about this game, so I was curious. Yeah, Limbus Company is very fun. Once you get a hang of the combat, you can kind of breeze through with leveling. I do recommend you play it, of course, because it just is a good game. Can I really trust Gregor not to crumble under that inevitable pressure? Also, there's just like a handful of character identities that you can pull for that will make some of the early game so much more easy. What's the context of this game? So, in this world, there was an event that happened that led to, I guess, the unleashing of effectively SCPs, but that were caused from humanity. Like, people can become SCPs, basically, and what Limbus Company is trying to stop those things, or at least corral them better. We, Dante the manager, are tasked with 12 sinners on this journey that will involve taming and collecting these SCP creatures, stopping or playing politics that happens in the city, and also getting to know our companions better. Truly, the gacha is the most unfair thing. However, it is also the thread aspect of the gacha is the best thing Limbus Company has over every other gacha to exist. The game usually devolves into abuse the win rate button until you hit a boss that just folds you into oblivion. Yeah, but you don't have to do the win rate button thing. It just makes it go faster. Because, like, sometimes it is nice to do the controls yourself. Because, you know, you can actually get ego resources the way you want to. I see. You're afraid you'll end up hurting us. Well, that's... At first, I thought I couldn't give a hoot whether or not I accidentally murdered some of you. Thanks, Gregor. You know how it is, Honglu. We, the bus team, didn't exactly get off to a rocking good start. So context of that is that one of their first instances together, they just started kind of murdering each other. But through our journey, I began to think of you all as my comrades, and I was okay with that because I had too much faith in my own weakness. When I realized that I'd grown so weak that I couldn't even take down some backstreets thug with this arm, I was relieved. Imagine that. The same arm. My arm. A weapon that stabbed the heart out of countless people during the Smoke War. Now, I'll be honest, when that Hohenheim fella said that I was an exception, the thought alone made me hope. Exception? A potential to be harmless, weaker than even a non-combatant like Yi Song. It made me hope for a life that didn't sound so bad. Also, yeah, Gregor is a very traumatized war soldier. That's what's happening right now, Vanilla. We're getting so much stuff with him after he had one of the craziest moments in the story. We all know how that went, though, don't we? Blew up in the worst possible way. And after all that, I just couldn't bring myself to fight again. Because I no longer know when this fear would eat me up again. Because I'm constantly afraid of this damn gift manifesting again. The same fear you've carried all this time. How did you endure it before? Badly. Barely. Holding on to the idea that the living has got to live on and nothing else. I still find it funny that Hobo Cliff trivializes 945 boss. Really, I did not know that because I don't use Sunshower Heathcliff. What did I miss? You're missing Gregor War posting. And also Depression posting. This really brings me back years. The memories are so clear that it's like they all happened yesterday. Best you kick me off the bus before push comes to... That can't be the answer, Gregor. You can walk away, but the danger of our journey won't leave with you. Dante and the rest of us will still be facing an endless repeat of peril. And it's not like leaving the bus will bring peace to your heart. Our deaths can be reversed should an accident occur, even if it comes at the cost of Dante's suffering. The same can't be said for most of the people in the city. Now that's something I never expected to hear from you. I guess you're right. If we're saying this through to any kind of end, this would be the place to do so. Not many places in the city have some warmth to them like this one does. Boy, this consultation thing's pretty embarrassing. I mean, it's not like I was forced to go through something as traumatizing as yours, Honglu. Truth be told, I'm not some special case. A, Sunshower is blunt and dirge, so he laughs off the damage. B, the fight asks you to chew through the Pablo shield via status effects. C, Sunshower counter inflicts sink and cheese. Rupture and applies paralysis to self that the boss slurps up. Also, once you get Sunshower's passive online, you can get up to 5 protect. Jeez. I did not realize he could be a tank like that. And everyone who participated in that war must have gone through more or less the same experience. Miss Moses, Otis, and even Valencina, that piece of work. We can't attach a number to our misfortunes as if there's something to be measured. When I fled from my past, I tried my hardest to avert my eyes from it. But you, Gregor, you're not like me. Every few steps that distanced you from the past, you'd come to a pause, despair, look toward the path you had walked. All those years I let slip by, all those that slipped you by are dotted with fathoms of suffering that are both ineffable and beyond measure. different experiences, different pain. Still, if there's one thing common to everyone, it's that trauma leaves after effects that linger for a long time. What are yours? I dislike loud noises and people who talk too much. They sound too much like the cacophony of the war, like screaming comrades who resented me even as they lay dying, and the wounds they left in my heart bled me dry. Wing's decisive weapon? Nah, hobo with umbrella's stronger. That's insane. But I thought you were fond of Miss Ezra, Miss Moses. I've talked too much. That aside, haven't you heard your fill? Might as well come out from that corner you're hiding in. Aw, man, they knew we've been dropping eaves this whole time. I was actually waiting for just the right time to come out and say a few words, but I couldn't find an appropriate moment to... Ah, well, I would have had to share this with Manager Bud and the rest of you fellas sooner or later, so I don't really mind. But, what's she doing here? TA. Temporary ally? No, temporary accompaniment. Don't be an asshole, I'm working my ass off to help you guys. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Here's a follow. Thank you for the follow, Vanilla. It does mean a lot to me, as I am slowly making my way up to 30 with you. Oh, and also thank you to Hermit Gamer. Sorry I don't have little effects to play. I tried to set it up with Streamlabs, but I just could not get it. You're right on time. I've been working on a theory, but I don't have all the clues to be absolutely certain. A word from someone in the know may immensely improve my confidence in the theory. Kira, do you know which door the Thumb Nurse Fathers was most attached to? Huh? No, duh. Duh, that's supposed to be obvious? Didn't you guys all see her? You think I'd just chat up a scary lady like that? It's fine, don't worry about it. Aw, thank you. Dude, she was beating the ever-living shit out of Lucio every time I saw them together. Oh yeah, he went down fighting you guys to the end, huh? You can say that. Yeah, said stuff about her generosity and all that. Fought till he died. Damn, that's unexpected. Being real for a sec here, I thought he was totally gonna swap sides. I noticed that your PNG concept looks amazing, not gonna lie. Thank you! I worked really hard on all of these. Because I got angry, I've got excited, I got idle, I've got crying, I've got blushing. And that's only me. I actually have an entire other costume with Villainess Molly. With her own idle, her own happy, with laughter lines, if you could see them. I know it's kind of hard because it's like black on black. I've got Angie Villainous, which I really like because I get to use glowing eyes and I love glowing eyes. And also I have her own blush. I think it looks more amazing as a live 2D. I would love to get a proper model eventually. Unfortunately, I don't have the live 2D software to do it yet. And I'm not sure how much time I can spend doing it on FaceRig. Because FaceRig is such a weird thing for me, because I used it once and then never did anything with it. I'm pretty sure there's a way I can use FaceRig to get a live 2D model, but I know it's going to take a lot of effort. So you can custom it. I know. Eventually I'll get a model. Eventually. Unfortunately, I'm also weirdly prideful about things, even if I don't like myself that much. So it's a thing where I want to handcraft it, and if I can, would love to assist if you want. Thank you for the offer. Can I show you my past projects? Do I even have Twitter DMs open? I'm trying to remember if I have them open. But I will pass, unfortunately. I'm sure they are very lovely, Vanilla. Live 2D or 3D? I mean, either's fine. I know 3D I feel like is kind of wonky. But, like, Live 2D is just kind of cute still. You know the vibes. You guys don't know because you haven't seen him long without the scary lady always looming over him. What's up? Gonna stab her right in the spine? You. Look, I think you might be training wrong because, like, you're not improving as much as you should from all that grind. Let me show you what I learned about sword swings from this comic book. That is not how my master has instructed me. The textbook cannot be permitted to have even a single deviation if it means to repay the debt it owes her. Dude, don't worry about money, I won't charge much. The money is only part of the problem, unfortunately. Again, the other part is a weird pride with myself of just kind of wanting to do it on my own and then being proud of that later. It sounds weird, I know. It's just something weird with me. Why are you so obsessed with all that crap anyway? You don't even like that old lady. But you're not so different from me in that regard, are you? Bro, the heck you talking about? I love my papa. Seriously, I thought things were gonna crash and burn before Yoshihide even came home. Suppose textbook and I had that in common. No, it's good. If this one doesn't know, let me redirect that question toward you, Scenario. Hopefully this touches upon one of your more intact memories. Do you know which of these doors the thumb nurse father showed particular attachment to? Or the door she used most often? Why ask me? Fine. Yes, I do remember. Don't even need clock's help to piece it back together. It's that one. Of course it is. Of course it's the one in the background. Holy shit, I almost died out there. God, this looks so much more like the back rooms than the other room did. Son of a bitch, a fucking fly. Where do those G-Corp fucks even drag those gross pests from? Mom, are you okay? Do I look okay to you, Ticket? No, not really. I'm fine. You know I don't break easy. You should have been there to see me tear the head off that G-Corp vermin, Ticket. But Mom, your leg's bleeding a lot. Here comes another mission. Boy, they really can't do shit without me, huh? So much for a break. The fuck is this? Bandages for you. Is this kid serious? They've got truckloads of expensive treatments on the ready to patch me up the moment I get back to the Well, okay. Never mind that. Hey, this works. Mom. Sit tight and don't start any trouble. I'll teach you some sword techniques once I'm back. Must have been her years in the smoke war. Yeah, fighting in the war took a lot out of her and left her perpetually exhausted. But she marched to every battle with a smile, stopped drinking, stopped beating me too. Like a blissful idiot who forgot that she was still neck-deep in the inescapable pit called the House of Spiders. When you realize that out of all the nurse fathers, Callisto was probably the most well-adjusted. I refuse Callisto being the most adjusted. That man deserves nothing good said about him. Sometime after the war ended, someone she called the consigliere of the Thumb visited the House of Spiders as a tutor. And that's when she went right back to drinking herself into a shit-faced stupor day after day. The beatings returned, and so did the edge in her profanities. It was pathetic. Hold on, why though? Sure, I was on the losing side, but wasn't Valentine on the winning side? A war hero at that? Ever heard of the regulation that prevents Smoke Corps participants from moving into I Corp and K Corp nests? The common thread between these post-war rules is that they make the lives of veterans difficult. Doesn't excuse what he does, but he could have been as bad as Valentino Dewey Star. Compared to everyone else, he at least tried. I mean, by that point, Matthias also tried. He just has his own way of doing things that is insanely wrong. I don't know, I'm kind of on Rien's side of, like, just following the prescript was fine enough. He at least read stuff to her. Whereas, you know, Callisto's just, like, making fucked up art pieces and stuff. But doesn't that mean that backdoor will drop us into a trench they dug during the war? Yes, and Gregor will be the one to open it. Wait, me? Yes, others can do it for you, but what would be the point? Had a heavy cough there. Was it Rien personally or Rien acting under orders? Either way, it's still fine, I think. I think it is still much better than all the others acting of their own free will. You sure this won't just end up giving him more nightmares? I don't see how this helps him in any way. We do not have any means to treat whatever it is that slumbers within his arm. However, I would surmise that the underlying cause of his sudden transformation wasn't the arm itself. Then what? It's trauma. His arm took control after his psyche was crushed by the weight of the unspeakable memories coming back to haunt him. It's not because the arm went berserk that he started reliving his painful past. It's the other way around. Isn't that so? If he can come to understand that the war is really over, and that what others say, no matter how closely they echo the past, is not necessarily aimed at you, then you may be able to loosen your grip on the fear and anxiety that your arm could metamorphose at any moment. While her suggestion may seem blunt, it is one of the basic treatment principles of M-Corp's psychotherapy centers. Fine then. Guess I'll open it up. Gregor walked up to the door, grabbed its handle, then paused, taking slow, deep breaths. And with one arm, he gently opened the door. Grand. Where are you running? You should be taking the lead on the front lines with our G-Corp banner held high. I don't want to die. Ugh, Yuri, too. Just, it's nice to have a place to go back to. Oh, right. Happy 15th birthday. But you can't possibly have the cheek to call me cruel. You G-Corp pests were far more messed up than I ever was. Ripping people apart, cannibalizing them. You were nothing but a swarm of fucked up monsters. I thought I'd woken up from the dream, but I was still. Grand. Time for more trauma. Yay. How long have we been going? 1.5 hours? I can keep going a little bit longer. Yo, he's back! Heck yeah. Is it worth it to bring you in? Your charge rupture. Most of this team is, what, bleed sinking? It's really just nothing. They're just IDs for the most part, because, what, you're... Yeah, your bleed, your poise is sinking, if I recall. You're mostly sinking. Oh, you also do have poise, okay. Your poise tremor, your poise, you're sinking, poise-ish, sinking. So I need either poise or sinking for him. And honestly, if he's gonna be in the field, I might as well go sinking.
아닌가요? 알고 침식도 양호. 아마도.
Man, this looks like a normal office building. What the heck? This place. It's just a boring little office. I was kind of ready to be shook thinking I'm about to walk into a war zone or something. You recognize this place? There's the floor boss. My last job before Limbus Company. And my desk was over there. Here's a tip, fellas. When you're working in an office like this, always get a corner desk facing the wall if you can help it. Let you hide from the boss man. Out of sight, out of mind, you know? You can do whatever you want that way. Work, chill, or even freak out in terror at the slightest sound of metal clinking. Nobody will catch you. Nobody will think you're a bother to other people. Aw. Poor Greg. Gregor grins, a bitter, mocking smile directed at himself. The only downside of this desk arrangement being people walking up behind me to get my attention. Higher-ups just had to holler, "Hey, vet hire," and I'd scuttle right up to them. But others can't do that. So whenever people walked up to me from behind, I'd get afraid that I might cause an accident. Vet hire? Must be about the post-war veteran special employment. Right, but I couldn't possibly complain. Wouldn't have gotten that job without it, you know? Not everyone was lucky enough to be considered for that. I was better off than most. Jeez. Head manager Ted? Gregor whipped around, his hand instinctively leaping to his other arm. There was an unfamiliar man in a clean suit standing behind us. It really is you, Gregor. And I see some new faces with you. Oh, wait. Oh, you must be folks from the account that the guys on the other team asked us to leave the meeting room open for. I did a new job, huh? I see you've got a new employee card right there. This is the most awkward thing, I think. Me, same old, well enough. It's not like I've got anywhere else to go, right? I'm not surprised you found new work so soon. You're always a dependable guy. Is the pay good? How's life, man? Oh yeah, you were gonna sell that a commemorative coin. Some kind of medal, right? Hope you got paid good money for that. Look at me, asking how's life to a fellow citizen. Can't imagine anybody would have anything good to say to that, huh? Moving on. Hope no one's hounding you with vet hire shit over there. No, not at all. There's none of that here. Hey, that's good to hear, man. Glad you don't have to deal with that dang jackass of an exec VP messing with you like he was a war veteran himself. You know how many years I had to hear that geezer bragging about how he profiteered from the war, pulling himself up by his bootstraps about how in every peril is an opportunity waiting to be found, blah, blah, blah. I'm preaching to the choir, aren't I? That guy, huh? Is he still taking his sauna breaks during work hours? Jeez. His seat misses ass every day. Oh, and get this. Remember how we used to call you special employment fellas Nepo Force? A few days ago, his name showed up in the HR report. Guess what it said? Turns out he was lining his pocket with kickbacks when we were choosing the fixer office for a partnership project. There is about to be a vacancy in the office real soon. Good old office politics. What a strange scene. Yeah, man, it's that bad. It's what anyone ever talks about by the water cooler. If there's anything I learned here, it's that people obsessed with back in my days are all kinda like him. They hate how their glory days are behind them, kinda like a distraction from how pathetic they are now. And there's the Valentina part. And hey, a Backstreet's kid like myself don't have glory days to look back on and yearn for, right? I look back and it's all doom and gloom. You know, if you've ever hit rock bottom, you also know the only way left to go is up. You've said something like that before, yeah? Guess it's my own brand of bullshit philosophy. Oh boy, look at me running my mouth in front of our customers. Sorry about that, folks. That's a pretty unique prosthesis you got there. No worries, but it seemed that you were on your way to submit those proposals. Gee golly. Thank you for stopping out. Gonna get one heck of a scolding. Nice, Gregor. You actually have a friend here. I can see a little bit of him in the way you talk, Gregor. Come on, I don't sound as old as he does, do I? Moses, who had been quietly observing as Gregor and his former co-worker chatted, exhaled a light stream of smoke and slowly began to speak. Many of us who returned from the war seem to suffer from a certain misconception. When we are told to remember, it does not mean we are bidden to live through the nightmare of the past over and over again. We are not being cursed to relive the pain and suffer in it. Both Ezra and I, we're both still trying to be free of the misconception we inflicted on ourselves. It's not like I remember because I want to. Well, if you can't bring yourself to forget them, might as well include in your memory the fact that the war has indeed ended. You're not wrong there. Manager, bud. Can't say I can give you any reassurance, but just going on with my life seems to be the best answer for now. I won't ask if you're okay with that, though. I'll manage, but it's you who's gonna have to deal with the aftermath. Gregor would always say the same to those suffering from the cruelty inherent in living. Still, live on. Just live on. Yet even as his lips spoke those words, his eyes would take on a desperate and unfocused look, shaded beneath despair. Today, the gloomy gray seemed to give way to just a hint of the blue sky beyond. This may be no more than a single ray of the sun peering through the dark clouds that have long suffocated the sky. It would probably take much more than this for the shadows to be fully lifted, but don't you worry, I'll be fine. It's a big step forward for him to have addressed even a little bit of that persistent anxiety from his past. When we emerged from the door, we saw Otis facing away from us, her weapon drawn. Wait, I don't think she even followed us through the door. Yes, I was told by that Allen figure that someone has to stay behind and watch the door during these operations. So I stayed and had to fight off Falvis, I guess. Weird. The corridor's not a place for those newbies to be roaming around on their own. As you can see, a few uninvited guests have decided to visit us through a different door. Grand.
마음 둘 아비들도 매번 이런 식이었다. 지가 내킬 때만 잘해줬지.
Need you here tonight. Come on, Gregor. You're just back in battle. Let's go. Good job, Gregor.
감동적이지 않을 수 없네.
Okay, with me yawning that much, I think it's time I have to end stream after this level. So, once I kill all these guys, I shall do the rundown, I suppose.
세피라들도 결국 내 편에 설 수밖에 없을 거야. 나도 그들도
Of course you're sending me that one.
버렸거든.
겁나 내게 바쳤지.
Come on, let's go, come on. No, wait, dang. At least my other sinners got me covered. That'll definitely make up for it all. Keep going, Gregor.
여기까지 와서 망설일 생각은 하지 않았으면 좋겠어. 사람을 죽이고 싶지 않았다면
And of course we've run into the problem of
하지 말았어야지.
not having the color Ishmael needs. So Kozan becomes a little bit weaker. Jeez, that damage.
이제 싱수에선 벗어났나? 초월, 지령에겐 불확실한 것은 없네. 왜 엄마가 삼촌들이랑 말도 못 섞게 했는지. 그 외부 강사들
Yep, you're asking for the red crane.
안에서도 네로라 하는 실력자들이었어.
So, let's do that. Pop off Yi Song. Or just murder. That works too. Dumb red coins. Good thing her defense skill can potentially keep Kozan going. Interesting. Oh, that's right, because it's... Wait, can it? I always thought it was Pride instead of one of the others. Unless that's an effect I'm just missing. Because to be fair, I barely use her defense skill. I should probably read it. 50% to gain 1 bright. Interesting.
이대로 몰아붙이면 아무
So it's just a gamble skill? Interesting.
수밖에 없겠는데요?
Good job, Kira. Let me... Albina's out.
여기까지 와서 망설일 생각은 하지 않았으면 좋겠어. 사람을 죽이고 싶지 않았다면 너희도 세피라도
Discard 2.
거리를 하지 말았어야지.
Convert the suit in this heads to a random suit that corresponds to the one of this base attack skill's next turn. Interesting. And then, yeah, there's the 50% chance to gain the bright. Interesting. So actually, I should be using this when I don't have a color, because if I have a color in the next turn, it will just become it. However, this fight's like basically over, because here's all 6 guys, and Furioso's happening. Which one do you need? Gloom? Gotcha, Queen. Come on, Furioso. There we go. Just pop off and murder. Keep the pain train going. I think you killed like 3 guys on your own, Yi-Song. You're so cool.
다음 목표로
이제야 친해졌네요. 이번에도 잘해줬어. 유익한 책이 또 하나 늘었네. 도시에는 내가 모르는 것들이 많아. 이렇게 하나씩 알아가다 보면 언젠간 반드시 찾을 수 있겠지. 세상의 모든
완벽하게 수행되었지 않는가?
Alright, with that, we're on 9.510.
뒷골목 밤거리에 비친
Actually, can I... What is my shop at? Cool, I can get all the tickets. Nice. I still need to get Merceau, of course. But before I do, I actually probably should do gacha rolls, because even though I know Valentine is coming, I can probably do a couple gacha pulls. Unless if I can get her. If I can just make her already, that'll be good. Alright, there's no need for gacha. Understood. Where is... Let us just buy her then.
거칠고 야만적이라고 할 땐 언제고 왜들 이렇게
So much easier than rolling. Oh, right, get your manager code in Speedo. Sure, let me, whip it out.
뒷골목 밤거리의 빛을 3번 갈라라. 기한이나 삭발 이내.
A fire into a void that cannot be filled. Nice.
뒷골목 밤거리의 빛을 3번 갈라라. 기한이나 삭발.
But with this...
저는 아직도 이 지령의 수행 방식을
Where'd I go?
알고 있습니다. 그러니 내 일상
Thank you everyone who showed up, especially all you newcomers, the Hermit Gamer, Vinella. I'm pretty sure there were a couple other people I already see around. See ya, the Hermit. Hope you have a good day or night, depending upon your time zone, of course. Thank you, Matt, for always joining me. Same with you, Bianca. And I don't know when my next stream will be. If I'm crazy enough, it'll be tomorrow at midnight again. Which will, you know, just be tonight at midnight, but time is stupid, so it doesn't matter. And I'm definitely going to be continuing Limbus. I'm not sure what else I need to say for this stuff, so I'm just going to head out. Hope you guys have a good day or night, and I'll see you next time.